Good morning. Welcome to the Better Business Workshop on Monday. We're hearing today that there'll be some news from the Chancellor of the Exchequer on Wednesday in terms of future plans and how we're going to kind of restart the economy. But before we get into all of that, today's topic is looking at paradigms and kind of really thinking about, what limiting beliefs or sacred cows that we're holding on to that are really stopping us from growing. And that's a pretty important thing to understand as we restart our businesses and how we kind of look to reinvent our businesses going forwards. I'm joined by my colleague, Mark Miller, and I'll bring him in a second. Before I do that, something you might want to be aware of is an event that we're running tomorrow evening called 6 Steps and 5 Ways to Get Your Business Moving. We'd love to see you there. It's going to really get you thinking about how you reinvent your business going forwards and how you kind of really adapt and thrive in the new economy. You can get signed up for that by going over to our website at miltonkeynes.actioncoach.co.uk, and I'll give you all the details of that at the end of this session. So with that in mind, I'm going to say good morning to Mark, who's in a different location this morning. Good morning, Mark. Great to see you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. I'm in the south of England instead of the middle of England now, so everything's different. Yeah, everything's different. I'm fine. It's a great Monday to start, and we're doing paradigms today. We're doing belief systems. My goodness, on a Monday, but This is really, really good, essential stuff.
Good. Right, Mark. So let's see if we can get some slides going. Time on tradition, right? We're going to look at limiting beliefs and paradigms. So I guess first of all, Mark, we talk a lot about paradigms and we talk about paradigm shifts. So what we actually mean by paradigms is, what are your limiting beliefs, right?
And actually, the session that you've kindly explained in the previous slide, Mark, for tomorrow night, I think we're running a session.
Yeah.
That exposes a lot of limiting beliefs about our businesses, about how we believe our businesses can only grow in a certain way when actually they could grow in a number of ways. The idea of a limiting belief is something everybody's familiar with, that we grow up in a world that we're familiar with, so we limit ourselves to what we're familiar with. Yeah. And actually, that's why I think networking as a business person, meeting a lot of people, is a really, really, really important thing to do, because it changes our limiting beliefs. It gives us different perspectives on things.
Yeah. So what we're looking at here, yeah, you're absolutely right, Mark. And what we're looking at here is, why is that important? Why is talking important? Because it gives us a different perspective. So what we're looking at here is, what are the assumptions that we're making about our businesses today, about the way that our businesses operate, the way that our clients want to interact with us, the services that they want to buy from us, and what are those limiting beliefs and the assumptions that we make that are stopping our businesses from growing? Because very often, Mark, we hear from business owners that they want to create new products and they want to invent new things, right? But sometimes, and we've seen this a lot over the last 3 months, that it's not necessarily about inventing new stuff. It's just understanding that the market has moved to a new place. And we've seen that a lot over the last 3 months. In particular, we've seen a lot of stuff go online. So what we're going to see as businesses reopen is that things won't be the same as they were 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And that things have moved. So what are the assumptions and the limiting beliefs that we have about how things are going to be the same as businesses reopen now?
Sure. And it starts with what we believe our businesses are capable of doing, given what we know. What hit me on this one, Mark, was, I've been running a company now for 22 years, still running. And I think after about 16 years, it was only about 6, 7, 8 years ago, I realized it was the size that it was, because that's what I believed it should be.
Right.
And I then met somebody, and this is why I mentioned networking. I met somebody who ran a similar kind of business, and it was 3 times bigger. And my goodness, how did you do that? And suddenly my limiting beliefs were challenged. And it was the best thing that happened to me, because for so long I'd been limiting what my business could do because that's what I believed it was.
Yeah, absolutely. So many businesses go out of business because they don't adapt and they don't move. You know, some classic examples.
Absolutely.
I think maybe 10 or 15 years, kind of the famous BlackBerry. You know, BlackBerry thought that that's the way that the mobile phone had to be, right? And in no time at all, Steve Jobs came along, and followed by a few others, and said, no, that's not how the mobile phone's going to be. It's going to be different. And guess what? You know, Steve Jobs gave something that customers wanted, and suddenly BlackBerry lost their whole market. And you know, the business world is littered with examples like that, right?
Sure.
How the market has moved. Good. All right. Okay. So if that's what we mean by our paradigms and our limiting beliefs, he says, as he just messes up the slides. So what we're actually talking about, I love this one, and Deming, this is a great quote from Deming, right? I'll come to it in a second, but what we're actually thinking about is, you know, what's our perception versus or our opinion versus our reality, right? Or fact. And so many people build their businesses based on the opinions that they have of a situation versus the reality or the actual fact. And why did I mention Deming? Because he said, his famous quote was, in God we trust, and for all others bring data, right? which is the fact or the reality.
Absolutely. And the reality that I met somebody who ran a business 3 times as big, almost exactly the same business, that was a fact. And that challenged my perception that I couldn't grow the business any more than I had, and therefore it would settle at that particular level. And when we find facts out rather than our prejudiced opinions about our own capability, about the capability of people that work with us, what we can do in the market, what we can offer, as you say, Mark, absolutely right to say that all of these things are opinions. And opinions must constantly be challenged. And we've found that certainly within COVID, right? So as anybody who's watching this is in business, COVID has really shattered our perceptions. And it could be in a good way, because we're now questioning, well, how should I run this business successfully? And let's look at the facts. Let's look at the facts that some businesses under COVID are going crazy. They're going fantastically, and that's a fact. Some people are making an awful lot of money. That's a fact. And the question there is, how do I change the perception that I've got about my business and start looking at facts and adjusting what I do? It's a real challenging thing, but it's a shaky thing, but something all good business owners do.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the bottom line, and the point you make very well, is that the world has changed. And a lot of us whose businesses have been closed for the last 3 months will still have opinions on where our business should be based on where we were 3 months ago. The reality is, for those of us that stayed open, the market has moved. And what a lot of people are doing right now is trying to sense or find the facts of where the market is right now. And that's actually the reality. And that's the challenge. All right, good. Okay. Well, how does that play out then, Mark? If we see this idea of kind of life is like a mirror.
Yeah, and what we tend to do, and this is why I'm suggesting Go Network. There's a number of other things we can do. Go talk to a marketing agency. Why? Not to employ them? No, just to have some discussions about ideas. Go talk to other people in other businesses about other ideas, because this list here, Mark, are things that we get used to. We're getting a pattern with these things. We get in the pattern with a family, our businesses, our salaries, our relationships. They become very embedded and ingrained. And that's the feedback we then get. This is what we are like, because this is the feedback that we get. Life is a mirror, and we're getting the messages that we like. And sometimes it's good to get reflections back of things that we make us feel a little bit uncomfortable. There's an old saying, of course, when you can see a fault in somebody else, it's because it's in yourself. Have you heard that one, Mark?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And we tend to avoid places where we can see faults in ourselves because it's easier. So we develop patterns and habits that are easy for us. And we mentioned this in a previous session, Mark, they're called the comfort zone, right? To be able to challenge ourselves to get out of our comfort zone, maybe different cars, different relationships, different friendships, think about our business in a different way, think about our diet in a different way, our bodies, our exercise, our leisure pursuits, our friendship groups, do different things to try and extend ourselves a little bit to get out of the paradigm that we're in.
Absolutely. I guess another way to express that is you only get out what you put in. That's what we mean by the mirror, right? You know, the quality of your relationships will be based on the investment that you make in them. The quality of your business will be based on on the amount that you invest in it as a person and the way that you do things, and so on for all of these other things.
Yeah, and a really simple piece of advice that we've heard from many people, not just from me. I'm just copying this one, but it's true. Surround yourself with successful people. Mix with successful people. Mix with the kind of people that you want to be like, and you'll pick up ways in order to get there. Yep.
Good. All right, Mark. Okay, folks, look, that was great. Thank you, Mark. There's a ton of great content like that over on our social media channels. So you can go and search for the Better Business Workshop. Come and join us over on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on YouTube as well. If you'd like to jump on a call with us, we'd love to have a chat with you. You can book one of those in our diary. Go to calendly.com/Action Coach Milton Keynes, and we look forward to seeing you there. And the details of all of our events, including that one that I mentioned at the beginning of this, the event tomorrow night, you can sign up for those events over on our website at miltonkeynes.actioncoach.co.uk. Just search for the events and get yourself signed up. We're going to be back here tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Mark, it's been absolutely fantastic to see you, and wishing you a great day.
Thank you.
And we'll see you here again tomorrow. Enjoy. Welcome to the Southeast. I know that you're out of your comfort zone down here. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Cheers, Mark.
Thanks so much, Mark. Take care.